we don't have to sit here and fantasize. Well, not fantasize, but maybe you have a nightmare about losing everything and having all these things happen to us. And would we remain faithful? You know, we need to focus on, are we remaining faithful when we get stuck in traffic, when something doesn't go our way, when we lose something very minuscule in the grand scheme of things. How many times, and I'm speaking for myself, I'm not like placing the blame here. Although, I think if anybody listening to this thinks about it, they're guilty. Like, how many times do we whine and bitch about something so little? Something that's like, just messes up a couple of minutes. Because we'll mess up a couple minutes of our day and go, I've had a bad day. Like, now you really had a bad 5 minutes. And you know, and then we've talked about it multiple times. How often do things not go our way? Life isn't happening the way that we planned, and all of a sudden we're angry with God. Yeah. While poor Job's sitting there with no family, sores, blisters, and all this stuff, and meanwhile his friends are preaching to him like, "Come on, you know," and you be at that point, you're like, "I don't want to hear that. Get out of here," you know.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, I don't have to put myself in Job's shoes. What I have to do is put things in perspective, man, because Job didn't make me sad. Like, you know, like Job made me happy. Listening to Job every night for the last 2 weeks made me thrilled about my life. Yeah. Made me absolutely ecstatic about my life. And let me just explain to you guys, if you haven't been paying attention, I'm not particularly thrilled with my life right now. But I'm going to tell you what I got. My kids are healthy. My kids are happy. They're smiling. Like every time I look at them, they're smiling. It lets me know that I'm doing okay. Although I'm not, you know, maybe the best. I'm doing pretty good. They're smiling. They're happy. They're healthy. My wife's healthy. We're making money. We're paying our bills. We're getting by. You know, maybe things are a little tighter than I want, but we're getting by. Right. Everyone's together. My family is united. Like, so the gratitude of basic life come to me through Job. And I also think it relates to me to a couple things. And I talked about this before. It relates to me to Judas. Now, I view everything in the Bible as historical content, accurate. I believe it to be true. Yeah. But I also think the stories held within are to demonstrate things to us and to put things in perspective and to teach us hard lessons and hard truth. Human being, I'm sorry?
It can be both. That's what's awesome about the Bible. It can be historically accurate, and it can also be a metaphor about our life right now.
Right.
That's how awesome. That's how deep the Bible is.
And that's what I'm getting at. I mean, people think that the point of life is to be happy. We want to be happy all the time. We want everything to be good. We don't want to experience pain. We don't want to experience darkness. We don't want to experience bad. We just want the life to be rainbows and unicorns and everything. If that was the case, then how would we even know that that's good? If there was nothing to reflect it on. And the hard lesson that we all need to learn is to deal with God's will when it's not in alignment with our human mind. And also to deal with the tragedies of life, the sadness of life, the pain of life, because it can't all be good. And without that darker side of life, then the good's not there. The good's not good. So these things like Judas, you're reading it or you're watching The Chosen, whatever, you know what's going to happen. You have to come to acceptance, just like Jesus did, knowing full well that he was going to be betrayed by Judas. Yeah. So we as human beings, we have to once again try to emulate or mimic Jesus and accept that happened, and this is going to happen in our lives, and that bad things are going to happen, and the rain is going to come, and the rain's going to pour. How are we to remain grateful and still in obedience to the Lord during those times? That's what Judas teaches me. That's what Ecclesiastes teaches me. That's what Job teaches me. Yeah. You know, it's like live in the present, stop whining. This is crazy. Like I had this big title above. I go, I'm going to talk about Ecclesiastes and Job, and then here goes the short sentence of what I learned: stop whining and be present. Because if Job, like, I'm not seeing anything like Job I mean, he might have been whining a little bit, rightfully so.
Sure.
I'm not going to whine if I still have health and bills are paid and families together.
Right.
And then with Ecclesiastes, it's like, yeah, so what? All that stuff, vexation of spirit, it's all vanity. But I'm going to enjoy the present, and it's something. It might be my last point because this is the lesson that I learned in Ecclesiastes this week. Other than the hard lessons that I'm, learning, like everything's not fun, everything's not great. All these pursuits of the world is not always exactly what it's cracked up to be.
Yeah.
Was the fruits of your labor. It's real heavy on take your portion. The fruits of your labor is your portion.
Right.
Enjoy that because that's God's gift.
Yeah.
So, being as a man like myself who doesn't work a traditional job, I had to really examine that within my own mind and in my own life. Like, what are the fruits of labor? Like, what are the fruits of my labor? You know, I do the podcast. I do stuff with the kids. I'm coaching them. I'm doing their lessons, this, that, and the third. What can I really actually be enjoying in life that are the fruits of my personal labor?
Right.
So a couple of things came to mind. Was obviously my kids are happy, healthy, they're running around the yard, smiling. I can enjoy that. That's the fruit of my labor.
Yeah.
My house looks nice, it's clean, whatever. That's fruits of my labor, me enjoying that.
Right.
So it doesn't always have to be financial. And something that it ties into what you were saying about, the feelings of depression, the cycle that comes back, the anxiety, the fears, whatever it is, that relatable to you, because we all have certain things. I'm prone to anger. My wife's a little bit prone to anxiety. Tony's talked about he's prone to depression, and we all have these battles. And where this battle takes place primarily is in the morning.
Yeah.
It's in the morning. So when I wake up in the morning, I instantly blast affirmations. It could seem corny to some people, but I need it. My mind is so negative. I'm so prone to negativity. I'm sorry. The first thing I do is thank God that I'm awake, because that's something that I have to start my day with, that gratitude.
Right.
That kind of sets the tone, and that will motivate me to put on the affirmations. I put God in my mind first, and I go, okay, let me put some good stuff in my mind too. And the affirmations may be corny to some. You're great. Your life's good. Everything's doing great. Just something to combat that, like, you suck, like, that stuff that Tony was talking about, that, you're an imposter, whatever it is for you. It could be different for everyone, but we all have this morning battle. And if we're able to win this morning battle, I'm going to tell you, your day's going to start flowing a lot better. I was just dealing with this, going through these hard times that I'm going through now, where I wasn't particularly thrilled about the way things were going. I dealing with a lot of darkness within the mind. So I started this process again, although I've learned it before and I've learned it again, and now I'm here relearning it probably for the 100th time, and I'll probably have to learn it again in a few months. But put God first. Put him in your mind first. I think it says something like that in Psalms. Put the affirmation on, combat the negativity. So now that I'm starting to add up the practices, it's starting to snowball effect. It's starting to get better. Now I'm going to stretch. Now I'm doing yoga. The yoga's motivating me to exercise. The exercise motivating me to work on the book. That's motivating me to work on the podcast. All these things start snowballing. Pretty soon, the day's almost over, and I killed it. I crushed it. And so that's very important, and that's the fruits of my labor. That's the point that I'm getting to. So, like, if I sit here in the morning and I'm miserable, but I force myself through work to get in a cold shower. I force myself to do the affirmation. I force myself to do the yoga. I force myself to physically exercise. I force myself to do some work on a creative project, along with all the day-to-day operations and necessities and things that have to happen within my household.
Yeah.
Now the day's half done, I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I feel pretty happy. I feel pretty motivated. I feel pretty energetic. And all these feelings are the direct opposite of what I would be feeling had I not won that morning battle. I'd be miserable. I'd be groggy. I'd be grumpy. So, in turn, my labor in the morning, now I'm enjoying the fruits of that labor. Being happy and energetic. And, that's a huge difference. Whether you got $1 million or not, you can walk through the mansion and be, or I can walk through this house that's not really nothing to be thrilled about, and I'm like, fruits of your labor. It doesn't have to be what the world today says it is. money and boats and houses and cars and all that stuff's great. I'm not telling you not to get those things. If you can get those things and still be in alignment with the truth, with God, man, go get it. Because if we're not out there getting it, guess who is? So I'm not against that whatsoever. But yeah, man, I've been in it, and I've been picking up some gems, brother. I've been picking up some gems.